Hi, I'm Neil from TribePad. COVID has radically altered how we manage our people forever. Remote working is here to stay, office environments are evolving and shrinking to cope with this. Much of this change is going to stick, so we need to be thinking long term. This means public sector organisations are going to need to utilise technology even more in their people strategy. Good remote collaboration tools for HR and talent teams is critical. Managing the productivity and well-being of teams remotely is of paramount importance. That technology needs to be easy to use, must work on any device and meet accessibility requirements. How will you assess, hire and welcome new team members who you've never physically met? What are the longer-term implications of this for your culture and processes? There's plenty of technology out there which can play a part in that transformation which we must all deliver. Using TribePad's integrated assessments and automation, Tesco handled more than 1 million applications during March while still delivering a great candidate experience, so that technology really can make a difference to your processes. Video interviewing has been rapidly adopted as a necessity during COVID, but there are real benefits to making this switch permanently. Reduced administration cost, faster time to hire, control over diversity and inclusion. So one-way video interviewing is really useful for screening in high-volume jobs. Two-way live video interviewing is a perfect replacement to a face-to-face interview, and with multi-party, of course, can be used for panel sift, which is crucial in public sector organisations. There are slick, candidate-led onboarding tools out there to help deliver a fantastic welcome to your new starters. Using integrated video, data capture forms and information sharing reduces the administration burden for recruiters and hiring managers, whilst importantly improving compliance. At TribePad, we help public sector organisations across the UK to remotely screen, interview, hire and onboard using our talent acquisition suite. We'd love to talk with PPMA members to see how our market-leading technology can help you evolve your people strategy. Thank you.
Hi Graham, it's lovely to have you here today. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do at Essex County Council?
My role involves the oversight of both schools and corporate payroll, the recently insourced resourcing service, occupational health, HR service centre, together with the council's traded compliance service.
Okay, thank you. And tell us what's been your own personal experience of working so far during the COVID pandemic?
Yes, I can. I have a unique experience. I travelled off to Thailand in mid-March. As I arrived in Thailand, they introduced a quarantine for foreigners. My time there, instead of being 10 days, ended up being almost 3 months. Thailand is 7 hours ahead, and I was still expected to work as normal. On my first day, my work laptop broke, and I then had to access the technology through bring your own device. So I was able to access all of the technology that the council used in terms of email and its ERP systems and all of the other IT systems through using that technology.
Okay, thank you. And what would you say, therefore, bearing in mind your unique experience, what would you say is the positive aspects of the events over the last 3-4 months, and also what have you felt has been challenging?
I think I've proven that you can work anywhere in the world as long as you have the connectivity. I think that's been really positive. I think I've seen massive movements in technology and enabling people to work from wherever in the world. I was 7 hours ahead. I just needed to adapt my day. I had some wonderful colleagues who also adapted their day. I would send emails early in the morning, your UK time, but also worked a fairly familiar day, in terms of working from sort of midday through to 6, 7, 8 o'clock on a night.
And challenges against that, Graham, would you say? Would it be the time difference?
Well, the time difference is definitely difficult, but most of the things you can do during a normal hours, as long as you are flexible with your work. I think it's made the council look at how it will engage with talent in the future. So traditionally, we always thought about talent being based around where our central base was or where our offices are. It's made us look very much wider than that. So talent now for us is not just in the UK, it's Europe-wide and further afield. Anyone with good language skills, could work for us anywhere in the world.
Okay, so from your perspective, you've been able to do that because the technology's allowed you to kind of take that slightly different view.
Absolutely. If the technology hadn't been available and hadn't been adapted quickly, it would have been very, very difficult to work from anywhere other than an office space or close to that office space.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Graham.
Thanks.
What can Matrix or the wider sort of agency staffing community do to support keeping employees safe?
I think as well, I think it's just keeping our dialogue open with the HR teams, which I think we have been doing. We don't really want to come into many surprises sort of further down the line. And I think I think these sort of sessions and also the teams functions have been able to keep the dialogue open. With the HR teams and making sure that we are there to support sort of straight away if need be, and also maybe sharing ideas that we've had from other authorities and sort of sharing that knowledge to make sure that we are fully on top of things for all of our clients.
What redeployment has done is it has forced organisations to take strategic workforce planning seriously. So I think, across the piece, we have seen an incredible amount of redeployment go on across the community. And we found, skills and experience and knowledge and wisdom in our existing workforces that we perhaps weren't using terribly effectively beforehand. So I think there's all sorts of really interesting things that we've learned. And Ian, to your point about sort of the dialogue, I think that workforce planning is probably going to mean that we are in a better situation to forecast what is going to happen if as the local resilience forums are working on, if we do get hit with a wave 2 over the winter months, because that's the stuff that's keeping everybody awake at night now.
We've also been drawn into certain Nightingale projects as well, where fortunately we haven't had to provide the numbers. And that was always our aim, to be there to support the client, but we didn't really want to place anybody, but have that sort of infrastructure in place should the numbers that we're talking about arise. I think sort of, especially now as we go into post-COVID, we do envisage seeing an uplift. I would imagine gaining in qualified social care and potentially into adults qualified as well. So I think it's about making sure that we've got the knowledge from the client about what their sort of capacity is going to be during the next few months. Looking at that sort of demand management piece individually as a client, and then making sure that we have got the supply chain in place that's able to cope and provide the numbers that are required by each individual client. Yeah. So obviously that's the piece now that we're picking up to say, not a forecast of such, but how do you see this ramping up sort of post-COVID, and will there be any necessity for us to assist with things like track and trace and things like that, just to make sure that we are fully prepared and the supply chain is ready for those numbers.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Lorena Ravich. I'm a HCM account director at Oracle, and we've also got with us Caroline. Caroline, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. My name's Caroline Gladwin, and I'm an executive solution director in Oracle Cloud HCM.
Thank you, Caroline. So today we're going to talk about physical space a little bit. And the physical world is a bit of a different place now. How have you seen organizations adjust to this change, Caroline?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I think everybody's in the stage of really adjusting to a new reality. And I think, if we have a look at frontline workers who are still out there delivering services, then some of the changes that they're having to adjust to are really obvious. So, the new rules, having to adjust to wearing PPE, maybe new health and safety guidelines, you know, even feeling safe and able to do their jobs, maybe in the light of public frustration. You know, there's been a lot of changes. And I think if you look at technology from the likes of Oracle, we can definitely support in that process. So, for example, providing, you know, tactical learning that they can quickly pick up and understand the new rules, or maybe rolling out things like our health and safety module very quickly to allow employees to be able to register concerns or, you know, put incidents into the system. Those are the sort of things we're seeing.
And how about, Caroline, people that are working from home or have a blended approach when it comes to working?
Well, absolutely. I mean, as we all have, you know, our physical space now where we work is very different. And I think, you know, there's some really positive stories, you know, the likes of Graham at Essex County Council and his experience. Yeah. And, you know, when we look at it internally, the sort of conversations we're having is that we've all become quite used to living in these boxes that you see around us today. And, you know, in some ways it's quite fun. We can have a little bit of a nosy at people's houses, and we've got used to their children appearing in the background or the dog barking when the postman comes. And so we can feel a bit closer, but it's also very easy for people to start to feel a little bit isolated. And I think as the weeks turn into months, to really miss that face-to-face interaction. So again, I think what the technology from Oracle can do is really help organizations create an environment where people now working in a blended way can feel really supported. So whether it's sort of bringing on regular check-ins between managers and employees, or whether it's giving packages of resources, you know, like additional learning or, you know, onboarding information to really help people feel part of something. And I have to say, we've seen amazing innovation. You know, we've heard of organizations who are running virtual happy hours. You know, they're doing things like online bingo. They're maybe even creating a company radio station and having an evening where employees can sort of ask for songs that are really going to motivate them. So technology can really help in all different types of physical spaces.
Absolutely. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you so much for giving us your feedback on this.
Thank you.